One of the best gaming monitors of all time. 1440p, 360Hz, HDR600, and a panel so fast it doesn't even need backlight strobing to keep up with the best of the esports screens on the market. And for some people, this is just the hands down best gaming monitor that you can buy. But who's it for? Well, I'll tell you at the end of the video. Let's just talk first about its visual fidelity, its image quality. It's really an excellent IPS panel. 27-inch 1440p is a pretty standard resolution and it looks really quite nice. Colors are saturated and crisp, super accurate as well. It's got DCI-P3 coverage, 10-bit FRC color, and it comes factory color calibrated, so you can even do light color grading on this and still be fine. It has a peak brightness that I measured at about 650 nits, supports HDR600, and if you're watching movies or playing HDR games, it will be visually amazing. Viewing angles are good, backlight bleed non-existent, and really there's no real issue to this. I mean, sure, the contrast isn't great because IPS panels only really have a 1000:1 contrast ratio, and beside an OLED panel, it'll look bad. The thing is, this monitor is not really all about its visual quality. Its main draw is that it's also a super high-performance esports gaming monitor as well. So while it's not the most impressive monitor in its class visually, the fact that it's keeping up with the best in terms of image quality at all is impressive enough, since its esports and high performance, high speed credentials more than make up for it. So this screen is 360Hz, a refresh rate about as high as anything you can buy right now. But that's not the cool part, because its pixel response time is one of the most impressive on any panel that I've ever used, bar OLED. Now, I don't have the gear to verify these measurements because NVIDIA doesn't want to send me an LDAT, but Optimum Tech tests indicate that this screen is indeed one of the fastest responding displays ever made. With just normal pixel overdrive enabled, the pixel response is consistently below 2 milliseconds with very minimal overshoot. This means that the motion blur, which is basically the smeariness when you see things moving around your screen, which is caused, by the way, by pixels taking too long to change color, is extremely minimal. Essentially, movement on your screen will be very, very clear with very little blur, which is going to allow you to aim better, game better. Now, if you want a geeky explanation of exactly what this means, watch my ViewSonic XG2431 review. But if you're just an average gamer wanting to know if it's good for your gaming performance, it's not just good, it is phenomenally good. Things just look clear, you just see things better, and you see action and movement and are able to react quicker because there's less blur distorting or disrupting your vision of things going on in the game. It's just good. It is, however, not actually the clearest if all you care is about how little motion blur there is and how much clarity there is. Because it lacks backlight strobing, which is a feature that strobes the backlight to help hide the blurry and smeariness a display might have. Basically, it's some fancy trick that tricks your brain into seeing a clearer and sharper image. Because it lacks that technology, lacks that feature, it's still a little behind the absolute #1 in terms of how little motion blur there is, because it just doesn't have that backlight strobing technology. The BenQ Zoe's Diag technology, which is their version of backlight strobing, is just so good. It takes a slower panel than this and allows it to perform with better clarity than it. The impressive thing about this display though is that it keeps up with the #1 without even using this feature, which is insane if you are a geek and know what I'm talking about. It basically means this is one of the fastest LCD displays ever made, and I don't think there will be panels much faster than this until OLEDs finally arrive as desktop monitors. But it does have a few massive advantages over the Zowie that it only slightly loses to in terms of clarity. It is actually nice to look at, for one, which is a big advantage over the Zowie. It's got good colors, good viewing angles, it's got higher resolution and higher resolution density, which means images look clearer, look sharper, look crisper. Objects in games look nicer, and it's just less hard to look at because with 1080p displays, you know, there's like jagged edges because there's just not enough pixel density. You don't really have that issue with 27-inch 1440p, which results in a more immersive experience, better visual clarity, less eye fatigue because you're not straining your eyes trying to look at pixels, trying to figure out what that pixel is. Also, because it doesn't rely on backlight strobing, it can have more freedom in adjusting its brightness. The peak brightness, you can set a BenQ Zowie with the backlight strobing on is about 250 nits. This can go up to 650 nits because it doesn't rely on backlight strobing to be fast and clear. And that allows you to adjust the brightness to fit your environment better, which reduces eye fatigue. And because it doesn't use backlight strobing, it also reduces eye fatigue because for some people, backlight strobing has been recorded and known to actually make your eyes more tired. Now, this is not true for everyone, and because this doesn't need that to look clear and crisp and amazing and give you great performance, you won't have that issue. And before you come at me and say that this panel panel's too big at 27 inches for esports gaming and esports titles. It has a very cheeky mode that allows you to run it in kind of 25-inch crop mode. So you get all the benefits of the panel, but you don't have to adapt to a bigger, newer screen size. You keep that good color, that good motion clarity, that good display performance, and you don't have to worry about getting used to a 27-inch display if you came from a 25-inch display. And remember, because you're cropping in on a 1440p display, you still have higher pixel density and higher resolution than if you were to just game on a native 1080p 25-inch screen. Essentially then, the PG27AQN is the jack of all trades. It does everything, and I'm serious with this. Need esports performance? Check. Need visual fidelity? Check. Need a well-built monitor with good design, I/O and easy menus, which I didn't talk about because no one really cares? Check. There is nothing that this monitor can't do. It's not exactly number one in any category, but it's hardly a master of none. Sure, it still isn't the rank 1 of esports monitors, but at least it's still rank 2 of something while being in the top 1 to 10 percentile of everything else. A feat that very few others can keep up with. So should you buy it? Well, if it's in your budget and you are rich as hell, then there's really no monitor that can do everything quite like this can. If your usage percentage is like 60 to 90% esports titles like CS, Valorant, or Overwatch, with the remaining percentage filled up with casual titles where immersion and color accuracy and visual quality matters, there is really no monitor that can give you as pleasant or as enjoyable or as high performance of an experience as the PG27AQN, at least not right now. Maybe in a year when the LG 27-inch OLED comes along at 240Hz, will we see something that can beat this? But for now, if you have money, you want the best that can do everything from esports to image quality, there's nothing quite like it. I'll just be really sad to see you go. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Sue.